Ella, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Can I just tell you it's so surreal because I watched you on the big screen when you were on Married at First
Oh my
Sight and like to have you
God.
here, I'm like, oh my gosh, like 3D, like this is weird.
Such a long time ago.
Like, does it feel like a lifetime ago?
It doesn't actually feel like this life.
Yeah, really.
Now. Yeah. Like I don't feel, it's very strange.
Isn't that bizarre? Because you were, so season 9. So how
Yeah.
many years ago was that?
Well, we filmed in 2021.
Okay.
And it aired in 2022.
Okay.
But like I was 27 when I did it. I'm just about to turn 32.
Yes.
I was a child.
And now you have little Baba Pia.
Yes.
And you're saying she's 14 weeks old.
She's 14 weeks.
Oh my gosh. You look fabulous for a mum who has a 14-week old.
I will take that. And I also will thank Pia for that. Like I was telling you, she allows us to have good sleep. So I feel like that is everything.
Is everything.
Yeah.
And tell us, after the show, how did it change your life? I mean, you come off a show and everyone in bloody Australia knows who you are. Was that just the most bizarre thing? And then where to from there?
Yeah. It was pretty crazy. Like no one can obviously prepare you for that first moment when you're going to the supermarket and people stop you, want to take photos. Like no one can prepare you for it. And even still to this day, like I just go about my days as I'm just Ella, and then I'll be reminded shortly somehow. But my life did really dramatically change. And I think as well, like our season was probably one of the last seasons that was more genuine than now. Like obviously I'm watching the current season.
Yes.
And yeah, I feel like I'm not really relating with the cast, and I think, you know, people could relate with our cast a lot better. And yeah, I think that's also why my life changed so much, because I was just true to myself, went on there for the right reasons, made friends, genuinely liked my partner at the time. Grateful it didn't work out though. And yeah, I don't know. I guess you just got to kind of go where the wind takes you after. You don't know where it's going to land. But
And was it basically now, are you busying yourself with the social media aspect? Obviously, you've got a very big community on socials.
Yeah.
Is that sort of, I mean, and you're postpartum, so we shouldn't really be talking about work and business right now. But
no, we definitely can, because that's the reality of it.
You just sort of, do you typically juggle the two?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like I was back working 3 weeks postpartum.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, you know, like I have my days where I look at my girlfriends who have like 12 months off and they have 12 months mat leave, and I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that would be nice. Like you don't have to post anything. No one even needs to know how you feel. Like you can just get on with your day and not talk about it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, in the same breath, like I'm grateful for what I do, because I can be flexible and I can choose when I want to have an off day. So I'm kind of like torn in between wishing but grateful for what I have.
Yes.
But I mean, yeah, like there's no real balance.
No.
I don't think when you do what I do, there's no real way of balancing with a baby.
Social media doesn't sleep. Like it's kind of like you just, as you said, you just sort of make it work, fit it in between it all.
Yeah.
I want to read back something that you posted, because I think that this is really great and might set the foundation for this conversation.
Sure.
So you said, for the longest time, I didn't have that I've always dreamed of being a mum story. I watched Friends, I imagined maybe, and I just never felt that feeling.
Yeah.
And then I found myself with a little life growing inside me and realized something. It's okay if your journey doesn't look like the story you thought you'd tell. If you're somewhere between I don't know and here I am, I see you. So I thought that was so beautifully written, and it's so honest. And being in the public eye, I mean, you're going to get lots of people with different opinions. And I think what I love about you is you are just, this is me and I'm going to put it out there, and people resonate with that, right? So were you hesitant of sharing the fact that, hold on, we weren't even really trying? Like I was still, what was that like for you?
I mean, I think the biggest turning point for me was when I started to imagine becoming a mum with my partner. Because before I never, in that caption or post exactly, like I never dreamt of being a mum. It was never like something I yearned for, imagined. I was never maternal. Like I loved my friends' kids, but I was happy to give it back. And then it wasn't until I was with my partner, and even still at the start of our relationship, because Guy and I, we've actually been friends for 8 years. Like we have a lot of history. And it was something he actually brought up early days of our relationship because he remembered that it was something that I didn't know if I ever wanted. And he was like, is that something that's changed? Like, do you still not want really kids and, you know? And I was like, I don't know, but I think I'm more open to it now with you. And I mean, there was no hesitation in sharing that online. I think even now, like I have a couple of girlfriends who are my age or a bit older, like, you know, mid-30s, unsure if they want kids, but that pressure and, you know, I think sharing it online makes a lot of women feel seen and like heard. And there was no hesitation in sharing that. Yeah. I think, I don't know, if we can use our platforms as a place where women can feel connected to one another, even if we're not genuinely like mates, I think that's a really powerful way to do it.
Yeah. People resonate with the vulnerability of it all.
Yeah.
Did you were you intentional with falling how did the pregnancy
How did that all happen?
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't like intentional. It was, but at the same time, we were like, okay, let's just stop being careful.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And like, I wasn't using any contraception or anything. I'd come off the pill like 12 months prior. So yeah, we kind of just said, look, if it happens, it happens. And it happened like a month later. Yeah, wow. And it just happened very quickly.
How did it, talk to us about when you found out?
Funny, and this is such a classic me. Like, I think my period was like a few days late, and then I was just on my way out to go for a walk with a girlfriend, and I was like, oh, fuck, I should probably do a pregnancy test just in case, but like, it's probably not. Like, don't be silly. It's a few days. Yeah. And I peed on the stick, and I put it down, and classic me, fully forgot about it.
Stop it.
Like when you're doing 10 things at once, I just fully forgot that I even did it. And I was getting ready to leave and I was like chasing the clock and I grabbed my bum bag. Like I'll never forget. I grabbed my bum bag. It was in the bathroom on the bench and I just saw the pregnancy test sitting there and I fully was like, oh. And like that moment of, oh, yeah, okay. And it was upside down. Like I couldn't see the result yet.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. Turned it around and it said 1 to 2 weeks. And I was like, oh. And I just stood there and I started laughing because I was like, this is probably incorrect.
Yeah.
I'll deal with it later. Chucked it in my bag, got in the car, went and saw my girlfriend. And we were on our walk and we were just talking about like pregnancy and all these things. And I was like, yeah, I have a test in my bag, but I like 90% sure it's not right. Like it's definitely not accurate. It's probably fucked. Like,
yes.
I'll do another one later, babe. And she was like, hang on. What? And I was like, yeah, it's probably not though. Like I was just so in denial.
Yeah.
And then I did like 4 later that day and they were all coming back as pregnant. And then my partner walks in the door and I'm just holding the stick in the bathroom like, I think, but also probably not. I'll get a blood test in a few days. Like it was just.
What did he say?
He was like, really? I was like, we just made this decision to, you know, stop being careful. And I was like, fuck, okay, yeah. And then we got the blood test. And
then it was. Because you put something up on socials, didn't you, at the time with the test?
That's how I did my announcement with Clear Blue,
That's
which was so controversial.
Right, yes.
Everybody went ballistic.
Can we talk about like how that was for you?
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't have expected to be controversial, so talk to us about it.
No, I was like, oh, I guess I didn't even look at it from that angle because to me I was like, well, Clear Blue actually told me that I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So like, if anything, I already align myself with brands that I genuinely believe in, consume, use.
Yes.
So Clear Blue to me was a no-brainer.
Yes.
Like, I was like, of course. And when everybody was, I guess, a little bit upset about it, I mean, it all stemmed from really like a few people or if not one person creating something out of nothing. So I naturally was like, whatever, you know, like you can't. And if people can't agree with the way that I announce, it's totally fine. It's my announcement. I get to kind of announce it how I want to.
Exactly.
But yeah, I was just like, whatever.
I think that This is where, and actually for context for the audience listening, this is, so Ella she announced her pregnancy with the Clear Blue pregnancy test, and some people were saying that in your pregnancy announcement, should it be a sponsored post, should it not? But to your point, I mean, everyone's going to always have a million opinions. And going back to you coming off the show and then realizing, shit, everyone thinks they know me and like have opinions as to how I'm living my life. How have you dealt with the trolls, I say in talking mark?
Sure.
Do you, like, how? Does it bother you?
It definitely does. I feel like if anyone says it doesn't, they're lying.
Yeah, totally.
Because I think it definitely eats you up. And usually it's like a 1% out of the 90%, you know? Like,
correct.
and we always fixate on like the one negative comment when there's so many positives.
Yeah.
But I've definitely had some pretty hard times for sure. Like even, you know, during my pregnancy was probably one of the hardest times because I was sort of putting out fires. You know, people were spreading misinformation about me. People were defaming me online. People were saying false things about my business. Like it became very loud for a while there. And obviously I was pregnant, so everything was like heightened and it was very, very challenging to say the least. And, you know, I had like amazing support. I had like a legal team to provide more information to me about like my rights and what I can do with it. So I sort of just parked all of that and sat back. I didn't feed into any of the trolls, to be honest. I tried to kind of spin it and I used some of it for marketing, which ended up doing not bad. But yeah, it's not something that you'll ever get used to. And I think that being in the public eye, you definitely have to have thick skin because people suck. Ultimately, at the end of the day, like people, for some reason, find it easier to be mean than to be nice. And they just want to see you fail rather succeed. It's really quite sad. And majority of the time it's women.
The tall poppy
it's like
is strong.
It's all women.
Yeah.
And they're usually mums. And I'm like, hurt people at the end of the day.
Are you conscious about how much you share publicly, even of PR? Like, how do you navigate that?
I mean, when we fell pregnant, and that definitely crossed my mind. And I think, you know, my page and who I am, it's not really just going to become Pia. Like, obviously, organically, she's there. But ultimately, people have fallen in love with me or like enjoy me as content. So she'll feature, but she's not like my prime. Yeah. And I'm not going to like, you know, intentionally block her out or, you know, I hadn't really, For me, I'm like, I can't really not show her because
it feels authentic to you.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. And then have you thought, you know, I mean, I hear you saying I was basically back at work, you know, working from quite early, you know, 3 weeks, I think you mentioned. I wonder, is that a bit of a throwback to your upbringing? I did a bit of research and I heard that your mum was a single mum for a period of time, worked multiple jobs and really hustled. Do you think now that you're a parent, you sit there going, I have even more appreciation for what she did?
Oh, definitely.
And the hustle potentially came from that experience. What do you think?
Definitely. I think that my work ethic stems from my mum 100%, and as well my brother. Like my brother's a few years older than me. We work together now. We have business together now. We've had business previously together. He's like one of the hardest working people that I know. And he also basically raised me too. He was like my mum, my dad, my brother, my sister, my best friend. So mum was obviously working a lot. My dad died when I think I was like a few weeks old. So she was just out there hustling as well, keeping like our home, you know, loving and safe, and still raised us as best as she could, which was amazing. Like my mum is amazing.
Yeah.
And I think about all the time when I'm like at home struggling, if my partner's at work, I think about all the single mums, even the ones that do it by choice, like knowing how hard it's going to be. I'm like,
Heart goes off,
it's
mate.
just great. And some have like 3 or 4 kids.
Yes.
You know? It's crazy.
You were basically, was it from the age of 8 that your stepdad came into the picture?
Yeah.
You know, what would you, like in reflecting around that, do you again have even more now that you're a mum, an appreciation for what he sort of took, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
He took on 2 more kids.
Right. And he had children.
Yeah, he's got 2 boys.
Yeah, okay.
So we became a blended family. And, like, even that process, because obviously I was 8 and then his youngest, I think, was 4 or 3 and the other one was 9 and then my brother was 11. So, like, all very similar-ish in age.
Yes.
But, yeah, no, it all happened, like, I don't know, they obviously did something right because it was a really smooth transition. We all got along. It was all okay. And then all of a sudden I went from having 1 brother to 3 and very different though. They're like very introverted. We're very extroverted compared to. So we kind of like would bring out the best in each other or like they would soften me and so no, it was, they got really lucky.
And they're still together?
Yeah, they live out in Bonnie Doon, like loving life in the country.
Yeah, good on them. And it's so nice to have that as an example in your life, right, of that strong relationship.
Yeah.
I'm curious, since having Bubs, has your relationship I mean, it always changes, right?
Sure.
But like, how has it changed?
Yeah.
And actually, one thing that I feel like our audience really want to know is, do you feel like you've got your sexy back, or are you still really like physical touch? You need to give me a hot minute.
Well, me and my partner, but we're very intimate. We really are. Like, our relationship in that aspect is probably our funnest part.
Yeah.
And I mean, postpartum, no one really feels sexy. Like, let's be honest. You're like sweating and like, I don't shower until 5 p.m. Like, I might look fresh today, but I'm not. And you really nail that. But no, I do feel like I've got my sexy back. When I stopped breastfeeding, I actually started to feel, a lot more like me. Yeah. Because I just wasn't like leaking. Like, you get out of the shower and like your tits are just like leaking.
It's the worst.
And I'm like, and then my dog comes in and she's like, yum. I'm like, this is disgusting. Like, that,
Was it a conscious decision to stop breastfeeding?
Yeah.
Okay. And was there a reason?
My boobs, I've got implants and like they were just so big. Like, they were just so big with the milk and like just so unpleasant.
It's too hard.
And just so much like leaking. And I'm like, how do people get on? Like, how do you control this? It's just hideous. And like, hats off to the mums that do it for like a year.
Yeah.
Like, no, I think I did 7 weeks and I was happy to start mix feeding and then like understanding how to slow it down. But breastfeeding is a full-time job.
Oh, it's full on.
Like, that is a job by itself. Like, put aside the nappies and the rest of taking care of a baby.
Yes.
Like, understanding how the milk works and it's like clockwork and draining them.
It's
oh my
wild.
God. It's actually fucked.
It's wild. And what I love though
crazy.
is that, like, I think that's such a beautiful example of the fact that you're like, this is just not working for me.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to just tap out of that and there's other options. And I think for those listening, particularly those mums listening who are like, but I feel like I had this expectation that I needed to do X, Y, Z, perhaps, releasing expectations and looking after your mental health and yourself, is something to consider. Like, would you say that throughout your journey, have you really just taken things as it comes and just followed your gut? What's it look like?
There's been no like, yes, everyone's like, you should do this, you should do this. But I'm like, dude, everyone is so different. Everyone's postpartum is different. Everyone's pregnancy is different. Everyone's baby's different as well. And you have to just do what is right for you. Like, postpartum is hard as it is. And for me, breastfeeding was only making it harder. So I was like, if I can relate, yes, it was like emotional stopping. Yes, it was sad. Yes, there was guilt. Yes, there was all of those things. But I knew I was going to be okay in like a week's time once, I understood it all. Yes. And it was the best thing I ever did. I started to feel like me again.
Yeah, it's so important, particularly when we're at this, fragile, vulnerable state in our lives where mental health issues and things like that often can creep up. Have you felt as though you've been pretty sound of mental health or how are you feeling?
I think the first 2 weeks was really hard because I ended up having an emergency C-section, which was like the most traumatic time of my life. And I'm sorry if you're pregnant, obviously, like, I'm really sorry. Yeah. But, everybody's like, it'll be the most beautiful thing ever. I was like really hopeful it was going to be the most beautiful thing ever. It was so gnarly in many ways. I just don't think that there's like a beautiful way out either way, whether it's like a planned C-section or an emergency or a vaginal. I'm like, there is just how can this be beautiful? Until the baby's on my chest, everything is not that beautiful. But yeah, I don't know. The first 2 weeks I was like traumatized. I was like on lots of meds, like tramadol, endone, hallucinating. Like everything is just so icky. Injections in your belly every day. Like no one fucking tells you that. Catheters.
Yeah.
Like your bladder doesn't work properly. I'm like,
where was this in the bloody baby book?
Why doesn't anyone tell me this? Like you're wearing a nappy. Like your husband's changing your fucking nappies. And then, it's so many things. It's just bizarre.
Yeah.
But then somehow you bounce back.
Yeah. And you felt pretty good since then.
Pretty much.
On average, right?
Definitely been a process. And I think, it'll take ages until like internally I'm fully there.
Yes.
Like the skin around the C-section, the surrounding area is like still really numb, but they cut through nerves and tissue. So like it's all been ripped apart.
Yeah.
It's got to rebuild, which takes bloody ages.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it. You're so like honest and like for those as you were saying that are pregnant and looking at what's to come, just take it one step at a time, as you said, don't plan it. That's the biggest thing. And listen to the medical professionals.
Definitely.
And we go with what they say. I'd love to ask, and I ask every guest this final question. So, how has parenthood changed you as a person?
I think it's shown me. I mean, I knew that I was already pretty resilient. And I think that most women will learn that they are even more resilient when you have a kid. Because like no matter what, you got to show up every day. Even if you're tired, even if you're going through the blues, even if like whatever it may be, you're recovering, if you had the C-section and you can't really do much, you still have to, I think that I've just really seen, even just in the mirror, like my body go through such change and still get up. And I think that takes so much resilience and just like backing yourself. So I guess I've just been reminded how resilient I really am.
We're stronger than we think we are. Yeah, it really brings all of that to light.
It's pretty amazing.
It is, isn't it? No, Ella, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.